It's morning at NTV. Stephen Imbidon Fefesuwe Chibuga. It's now a year after, since the four-time presidential candidate, also the founding president of Forum for Democratic Change, now the head of Council of Eminent Persons for People's Front for Freedom, Dr. Tadi Kano, Dr. Warren Kizza Besigye, is under incarceration for now a year, together with AD, that is Hajji Obeid Lutale. They are now still detained in Luzira. But what is the impact of their absence from the political scene? But also, what is the status of their cases? But also, the party, People's Front for Freedom, the head of eminent persons, being away, being incarcerated. What does it mean for the members? What does it mean for the promoters, but also the members of PFF? I'm speaking to the head of strategy and branding for People's Front for Freedom, also Chila Municipality MP, Honorable Ibrahim Ssemujju Nganda. Good morning.
Good morning. I am the chief of staff for PFF, but also spokesperson and head of mobilization. I know the functions are too many. People think are officers. Dr. Kizza Besigye is a freedom fighter. The PFF is just the domestic platform. It's like a prayer for the national team, who also prays for Express. When that prayer is away, it is not Express alone that suffers, but also the national team. So Dr. Kizza Besigye is our leader, the leader of the fight for freedom. We are not only missing him during this electoral season, but we are missing him as a country for his guidance. The country must understand that before his abduction from Kenya, he was engaged in many meetings with the rest of the opposition in Uganda, but also with the people who want to support our struggle for freedom. You recall that when the National Unity Platform was opening their office, he was the guest of honor. You recall that we had meetings with the ANT. So it is not just PFF missing Dr. Besigye. It is the country missing him because of the contribution he makes. Contribution he began way back when he was a young man who had just graduated from Makerere University with a Bachelor of Medicine and had started working for the Aga Khan Hospital. But he abandoned to go to Luwero, where he spent the next 4 years of his career fighting for freedom, fighting against the Milton Obote. So we miss him, but some of us continue interacting with him even in prison, because he has remained an inspiration. The sacrifice he has made, the number of times he has been arrested, he has abandoned the normal way of living, because Besigye lives sometimes in prison, sometimes at home. So sometimes he has lived the same number of days or more days in the prison than his home. And those of us who work with him, certainly we miss him. He used to be the head of fundraising, he used to be the head of mobilization, but also he was the patron of our fight for freedom. So we miss him.
Right. You who has worked with Dr. Besigye, the man whose portrait is behind here, you've worked with him from the days of early days of FDC, the days of 4GC, Walk to Work, and other activism areas of activism. You, when he sees you, yesterday you are launching your campaign for Chila Municipality to come back again, and other what is happening with other political parties, forces he has always wanted to unite. When he sees whatever is happening now, forces in disarray, what does he feel? Doesn't he feel disappointed in you?
First of all, our failure to deploy our energy and resources to fight the common enemy is very frustrating, not only Dr. Besigye, but all of us. Because we spread ourselves thin, instead of aggregating and consolidating our energy and resources, we deploy the same energy and resources against each other. And it's not because we don't know who that enemy is. All of us do. That's why when you go at the rallies of the Unity Platform, at PFF, at NT, we will all be speaking the same language. But after that, then we go and begin elbowing each other. Part of the reason we did not put a presidential candidate, I have said this and I want to repeat, was not because there was nobody suitable to run for president, but also to run the country in PFF. But we thought we would be duplicating our small and thin resources, both human and material. So that decision was born out of experience, that you can't have every party fielding a presidential candidate and then you spend the next 3 months quarreling. Because even at a domestic level, at a parliamentary level, you can see the quarreling. I have colleagues here in my constituency. At their rally, they speak less about Museveni and speak more about me. If you attended my rally, for us, we've designed it as a policy. We are not going to speak about or against any opposition party. That is completely out. We want to focus on Museveni, who has ruined our lives.
The person you want to focus on is a person who has ruled this country for over 40 years. He knows all the gymnastics to make him stay in power. But also, the person we're talking about, Dr. Besigye here, 2016, he says, no, I'm not coming back into the race. And also, his forces who have been rallying behind him are going into the same playing field. Do you feel that there will be the situation will enable you to have what your desired goal is and Dr. Besigye's dream?
First of all, the country must also understand that Dr. Kizza Besigye is a human being. I work with him, but I also disagree with him on strategy and on other issues. And there are many other people who disagree with him, but continue working together. We identify areas of commonality and we work on those. On issues of elections, I have disagreed with him. And even in 2016, even when you interview him, he said, you guys dragged me into elections. Even in 2016, he never wanted to contest. But he works with people. So that I want everybody to understand. I view elections, first of all, as a platform for mobilization. If you look at the Honorable Kyagulanyi, where he has gone, there are areas where he would never have been allowed to go. But even the way you raise the level of civic competence, the level of enthusiasm, the mobilization of the campaign, and that's why after the 2016 election, after the 20, you go back to 2011, we are able to stage peaceful protests of walk to work successfully, because the country had been mobilized and their level of awareness had been raised. So elections are a platform. They may bring change, they may not, but they will help you in the subsequent engagements, civil engagements. The people of Chile that I am mobilizing now, that I meet here every day, I never meet them in any other season. If you came here today and asked me to call for you 10,000 people on phone, I will call them. Because now Parliament is not sitting, daily I am interacting with them. So elections offer you an opportunity to mobilize, they offer you an opportunity to coordinate and network. They may not necessarily bring the change, but they may also bring change, you never know.
Yeah, but this civic empowerment and engagement, we are not seeing it as very active like the days of Dr. Besigye. Once he said, let's move to the court, let's move to the street, let's move and protest against this, people would rise and follow him. But today we don't see that kind, at least for the past 5 years. We're not seeing that.
We are all gifted differently. When we are fighting in Parliament to stop Museveni from changing the constitution to remove the age limit, we went into meetings. I was the chief opposition whip. There are people like Katuntu, Nwagawa, Segona, and others who said, let's go and urge the case. There are people like Kyagulanyi, Alan Sewanyana, Zake, who said, let's go and box these fellows. Besigye is a talented man. Very eloquent speaker, very knowledgeable, experienced, but he's also a fighter. If you want to Besigye on the street, he will put his degrees and his knowledge aside and then he will be on the street. So there is no any other Besigye in Uganda, that you must know. The things he does I cannot do. I have said this 100 times. When I was young, even now, I cannot go to the bush to fight an armed struggle. Besigye did. There are many of us, so we miss him because even when we are doing elections and other activities, his argument was this must be complementary, not the only avenue through which you are going to change the government. This must be complementary. Sometimes he's misunderstood. People say, Besigye said no elections. He said this must be complementary because even when you defeat Museveni, there will be elections. What frustrates Besigye is for us to focus on elections as the only avenue to go and change. That's why in the last election he participated in 2016, he kept saying, you guys, we need to target a win, but also target the referee and also target the opponent.
All right. Honorable Ssemujju, the late Kazola wrote a book, Betrayed by My Leader, and he was, of course, targeting the people who led him to the Bush War. When Besigye sits there under incarceration, when he looks at people like you, the leaders out here, and also the masses, not doing what he was fighting for, don't you feel that we are betraying this, Dr. Besigye?
People make different contributions. When Museveni was in Ruwero fighting, there was an external wing in Nairobi, headed by Rugunda. It had Kategaya, it had Matthew Kaire, Suleiman Chigundu, Amama Mbabazi, Ssemujju and others. Their job was to raise resources, and they did. There are also people who went to Ruwero to fight, the actual fighters, but they're also the planners of the war, including Museveni, because Museveni never fought anywhere. But he was a strategic planner of the war. We make different contributions, and I don't want to be frustrated that I have not made the same contribution as Besigye, because I am not Besigye. You begin by appreciating the contribution everybody has made. The moment you seek to elevate one contribution against the others, then you are going to deter people. So yes, Besigye may be frustrated because he wants everybody to be a Besigye, to be a good speaker, to go on the street when it is required. But human beings are made different. Yeah.
All right. Finally, today, I know at the headquarters, the base of Katonga, the base of People's Front for Freedom at Katonga, we're going to be having activities in remembrance of the 1 year of this freedom fighter. What maybe you can now that we are live on air, we can let the people know what's happening.
This morning at 10, we'll have a press briefing. Press briefing, essentially to address issues of freedom. Dr. Besigye simply embodies that fight. His situation is the situation of many other people who will be speaking about that. Then we will have a small number of about 20 leaders who, after the press briefing at 11, will go and seek permission from those who are holding Besigye to go and hold a joint prayer with him in remembrance of the 365 days Besigye has been in prison. But also, as I said, Besigye simply personifies this, but there are many other people. The last time I visited Besigye, I found, of course, he stays alone, but Hajji Obeid Lutale, with whom they were kidnapped from Kenya, stays with the Nubian, stays with the Edmutwe, with Bobby Young and others. There are also people like Mufumbira and others who are staying in other rooms in the maximum security prison. There are others who were arrested in 2020 during the last election. They are still in prison. So we are just using Besigye to present the situation people are going through in Uganda.
All right, thank you so much. And of course, we shall be following whatever happens at Katonga, the People's Front for Freedom base. And of course, we shall be letting you know what happens there. Now, subsequent bulletins, NTV at 1, NTV at Kaunges, and NTV tonight. Now, let me connect to Rachel Adidi from